Brodes Media.
What a fucking series. All right, Aaron Nola and his complete game shutty. Which one was more beautiful? That's the question of the day. Oh my God. Do I love this baseball team. There's so many bad things happening right now, yet they still grind. You're telling me Bryce Harper, think about how unlucky this is. Bryce Harper is standing in the box. The ball is getting thrown back to the pitcher. This dude then becomes a late scratch the following afternoon. Quick turnaround. He can't go due to a migraine, and I'm supposed to believe that there's no correlation? Come on, man. How unlucky is that? You're dealing with JT, still not back into the lineup. And while we got a mini update that he was taking BP and he was in the field a little bit, it's still longer than I would have ever thought when we originally heard he showed up to the ballpark a little sore. Is this a little sore, or is there something to actually be concerned about? Now, this is what I'm going to say in regards to Stubbs, because he's been in the crosshairs a lot, and people are saying, we gotta get a better backup. One, I've said this a billion times. This organization has, in their eyes, one of the best catchers in baseball. They don't do what other teams do, which is have two guys that are both sort of average, and they'll find a way to platoon them over 162. That's not really what the Phillies have. The Phillies have, in their eyes, the great, great, great elite, and then someone who can just do okay and somewhat serviceable when JT Realmuto needs a casual off day. What happens is he starts to play way more and things start to get ugly. That's the nature of the beast. But they don't have it built with similar structure to maybe some of the other teams. Other teams might just have poor catcher play in general, or they find a way to platoon-ish and have sort of that vibe going. Garrett Stubbs is fine. And even some of those guys aren't even necessarily that good either. He was involved in a complete game shutout, so he deserves recognition for that as well in regards to calling the game one day after. Really, once again, the game happened so quickly, and it was a quick turnaround. It was maybe, 12 hours later, and he's putting away all the noise that him and Zach Wheeler, there's all these numbers to tell you that Garrett Stubbs can't do this, can't do that. I just thought it was getting overblown, all right, the Garrett Stubbs stuff. Let's just pump the brakes. Let's enjoy what's beautiful about this team, and that's they do it. They do it however they need to do it. If it's Bryson Stott, then it's Bryson Stott, baby! What I loved about the comeback on the first game, or in the first game, was that solo home run. Oh my goodness, was that something great. And that gave the team all the momentum in the world. It was so awesome. And you also had to deal with Christopher Sanchez, who wasn't pitching very well. But what's he do? Let me tell you what he does. He ends up getting out of a nice jam. He limits the damage, so he only gives up 3 instead of what could have been 7 or 8, and the Mets could have really did damage and knock you out of the game early, but that wasn't the case, and that is a DNA or a cult, not a culture, a personality trait, a style that Christopher Sanchez could do. I'm almost lost for words because I think his excellence is so outstanding. I'm almost dumbfounded that no matter what, and if he allows traffic to go on the bases, he takes a few couple of deep breaths, he relaxes, and he attacks, and he gets out of it. He gets out of it. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but if I'm just telling you off a gut feel, when Sanchez is doing his thing, and we look at all of his box scores, I don't know if he's been kicked in the junk big time, where he gets ran out of the building with 2 innings pitched, 7 earned runs or something like that. I know his command might be off and he might walk guys or allow a few hits, but for the most part, if he needs a strikeout, he gets a strikeout, and he does it by striking out 3 guys in a row, swinging. That's how that 6th inning went down. So fantastic for me. I think it was that 6th inning. I forget off the top of my head. I might be combining the 6th inning of Game 2 a little bit, because that's when the Phils had the bottom of their lineup up with Whit Merrifield, Cody Clemens, and Johan Rojas. And the crazy part is the way you got up 2-0 was walks and poor Alec Bohm. This guy gets hit with a pitch with bases loaded more than I breathe. Every time it's bases loaded, you think, okay, he's going to knock in a run any way possible, because this dude is a machine in regards to logging in a bunch of runs batted in as it is. He'll smoke one into the gap. He'll have a ground rule double to right field that plops right on the white line. So he gets a double. Insurance was key, because when Aaron Nola went in for the 9th, a couple of base runners. So in a 2-run game, when his pitch count was getting to 100 triple digits, that's an easy, let's call the bullpen. Yo, let's get a few guys warming up in there so they can pounce, because we got to shut this game down. And this team responded to the criticism of Rob Thompson, because none of us really enjoyed the way that he handled Spencer Turnbull when he only gave him 1 inning the other day, and what's his role really going to be? Well, we wondered if the amount of pen that they used would come back to bite them in the ass this afternoon. And they didn't even need to go to the pen. Nola says, yo, do you want to see my curveball? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Do you? You want to see what I can do today? I wonder if there's some friendly competition going on. Would you be surprised? Say it's a boys' night, Saturday. The wives are with the kids. They have a game, so I guess this doesn't make sense, but bear with me. Wheeler, Ranger, Knowles, top 3 guys in the rotation. Cigars. Kendrick Lamar beef on a Beats pill. Then you got yourself the poker table. And they're just throwing in thousands and thousands. And they have a huge end-of-the-season bet going for who has the lowest ERA and has the most wins. Okay? Because he sees that some fans are disappointed with Knowles. It wasn't very long ago that on this very program, all right, we took a phone call, and the knock was Aaron Nola, 4 innings, 4 runs. I was right about this guy. And I said, no. You cannot discredit Aaron Nola's presence just because of one bad outing. We've been through this long enough. I mean, the banter back and forth is just getting stupid. But anyway, I'm sure that he hears that Rangers are true number 2. Rangers better than this guy. I'm even hearing at times Rangers are number 1, which is hard to argue when you have a 1.50 ERA. Just in case you forgot, I'm going to say it twice. A 1.50 ERA for your guy, Ranger Suarez. Are you serious? Guy's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. But Aaron Nola wants to compete for the job and go, yo, Ranger, that's nice and all, but there's a reason why it's always been Wheels and me. Just with some friendly competition, of course. You saw the Phillies get to Edwin Diaz. I opened up the show mocking the check swing, of course, but guess what? I've been on the losing end of that all the time. Whenever it's a 50-50 call and it's super bogus, it normally destroys us. I felt that pain so much. Super Bowl James Bradbury. All right, I've seen it all the time. I don't want to deal with it anymore. So if it happens to go with somebody, I watched the New York Knicks win Game 2 in Madison Square Garden off the most disgusting disgusting refereeing I've ever seen in my life. So if the Mets have to lose some random-ass regular season game when they stink anyway, and when they're booing Pete Alonso out of town, and when they're screaming at Francisco Lindor and the next guy and the next guy and Buck Showalter and you name it, every single one of those clowns, go fuck yourself. That's all. Yo, New York, go fuck yourself. I hate them.